How's everybody doing? Good? Okay, so, I'm Travis, and I am an Android developer. And I also blog, and I am a huge fan of Kotlin. Anybody here use Kotlin in production? Anyone? Good. You're the best, man. Previously, I worked for a tax world, and they do Kotlin in production, so it's good. You just have to try it. But now with Accent, we are a leading digital agency in Thailand. We work on all sorts of interesting projects with great clients. There are 40 of us right now. There's iOS team, front end, back end, QAs, and of course, I'm with the Android team. You know, we have this learning, sharing, culture thingy going on. So we have like a knowledge sharing session running regularly. So, you know, if someone knows something, like they learn something new, so they can schedule a session and everybody can join. Well, actually, that's a funny story though. It was a typical day at work, and I was converting the Java code to Kotlin. And like a couple of people are interested, so they can watch. And a couple more people are interested, so they can watch. And then 5 minutes later, you know, I ended up in a meeting room full of people running a session of Java to Kotlin. So, you know, if you feel like learning or sharing, you can come join us. Now, please, send your resume here. Now it would be a good time to like take a photo, right? So anyway, today I'm going to be talking about Spek, which is a testing framework written in Kotlin. So here's our agenda. So there's a little bit problem in our current situation in unit test, and then you know what is Spek, and we're going to see it in action, and then we do a QA, right? So what is Spek? Well, actually, in Dutch, Spek means bacon. So you know, it's just a play on words, right? We have like TDD and BDD, and now we have bacon-driven development. Now, what's so special about Spek? Well, besides it tastes so good though. Well, imagine this. You're a new guy or gal joining a team, and you know, you have to onboard yourself to the project, right? You have to study the code, you have to like understand all of them, and you think, what can you do? What options do you have? Well, you could read the documentation, right? But no, unfortunately, we don't have a documentation for this project. Or you can, you know, ask one of your teammates to like walk you through it. But nah, they're busy doing their stuff. But fortunately, we've been taught to be a good developer. We write tests, right? So you go ahead, run your test, and you get a result like this. I'm gonna say it's somewhat unreadable, but it's definitely hard to understand, right? Now, I'm telling you, Spek can turn this into this. You see, you get like nice kind of tree here that where we say, oh, we have an add node presenter, and it can do all these stuff. You know, it's easy to read, it's easy to understand, and even a non-coder can read it and understand it. Now, For example, I'm gonna cheat a little bit and play safe by taking the Notes app, which is a simple note-taking app from the Android testing code lab. It is the best one I found on testing in Android. Now, today I'm going to be focusing on two screens, which is Notes. Well, basically it displays a list of notes. You can click on it to view the details, or you can click on a floating action button to go to next screen, add notes. In add note screen, well, you can add notes, and you can also attach a picture. Now, the app was built using MVP. So, if you, I'm going to assume that most of you know MVP already, but if you don't, I think there's a section on MVP later. So check it out. So basically, each of the screen would have a view and a presenter, right? Now, for example, I'm going to be testing the presenter. So I'm going to do 4 test cases. Okay. And our first one is going to be an add node presenter. Well, let's have a look at our add node presenter first. This would be in the add node screen, right? So you see the constructor here accepts 3 arguments, right? So it needs 3 dependencies to construct the class. So in Spek, you would do this. You say a class or an object. Well, object is actually a Kotlin thing, you know. This basically means this class is a singleton, which is kind of makes sense because how many instances of a test case, a test class you want to have? Just one, right? Now say, so we say add node presenter. It's going to be inherited from Spek. In Kotlin, a colon is mean extend or implement. Now, you're going to write your test code in a lambda that you pass in the constructor here after the Spek declaration. Now you will say given an add node presenter. Now we do the setup. You see, we create our instance of add node presenter. Since this is a unit test, right? You want to test just a single class, right? So all the dependencies, we're going to mock it. And this is Mockito Kotlin. Mockito Kotlin allows you to write Mockito code, which used to mock object in Kotlin idiomatic style. Now, we mock all the dependencies, we create our add node presenter. And to the first one, I'm going to test a method save node. Actually, I'm going to be converting from the, in the Android code lab, I'm going to be converting the JUnit test to Spek test, all right? So let's have a look at our save node method first. So it takes the title and a description, and then it's create a node for you and check if it's empty. If it is, then show the error. Otherwise, it would just save the nodes and show the node list. Now, our spec. So we say on save node, and then we actually call a save node method, passing a title and a description. And we have this it closure that we say it should save the node to the repository. And then we actually do an assertion here. So in the it closure, we verify that node repository.save node was actually called with any node. And it also should show the node list. And again, in the it closure, you call lambda. You should you verify that add_node_view.show node list was actually called. Also, we're gonna test for the an empty node case too. So again, on save empty node, and then you pass in an empty node, and you say it should show empty node error. And the result look like this. Pretty readable already, right? Now, to the next one. Add node presenter.image available. Well, this is when you're adding your node, and you can also add a picture, right? Well, basically this is what the view will tell the presenter that okay, the user has chosen the image, and your image is ready. So here's the image available. The presenter is gonna ask the image if it exists. If it is, then show the preview. Now, just like the same, we say on image available, then we call add.presenter.image available, and it should save the image and display a preview. And then we verify that it actually shows a preview, right? The view is actually gets called. And the result failed. Why? It says here that wanted but not invoked, view.show image preview. Well, remember, because our dependency, our image file is just a mocked object. It's not going to do anything useful. You know, when you call some method on it, it's going to return the default value. So what we can do is we can stop it. Well, stopping is when you have your mock object and you want it to return something when someone calls a method on it. So here, see, we have our image file, right? We say whenever image file.exist, then return true. Whenever image file.path, then return image URL. Well, actually, image file.path is kind of Kotlin thing Tynes talked about. You know, in Java, on top, you would say image file.getPath, right? But with Kotlin, you can just .path, and it will call the getter for you. So whenever is actually Mockito Kotlin also, it's basically it's actually called mockito.mock. Mockito.when, sorry. Now you would do all those things like you normally do, and now it passed. To the next one, nodes presenter. This is the knowledge screen. The knowledge screen. Now let's have a look at our presenter first. So, you need to pass in a node repository and a nodes view. So the spec looks like the same, and we do all the setup. We have our val fake nodes, which is a list of nodes. List is a global function in Kotlin that takes in a var, and it will create a list for you. Now to the test. So let's have a peek at the presenter. On load nodes, force update, you can just ignore that. On load node, it's gonna tell the view to show a progress indicator, and then it would call the repository to get node, pass in a callback, and then dismiss the progress, and then show node list. Show node. Now, just like the same, you say on load nodes, and you actually call it, and then you say it should show and hide the progress in order, because you have to do in order. So you can do it like this. It also Mockito Kotlin. And now you say it should show nodes on the view also. And fail again. Why? Well, actually, it's just the same whole reason, because our repository is just a mocked object, and it's not going to do anything useful. Sorry. The reason it failed is some method was not invoked on the view. All right, so when you do callback, your mock object is not going to call a callback for you. So this is where an argument capture comes in. An argument capture would capture the callback for us. So you have to add another it, should load node from the repository, and then you verify that node repository.getNodes gets called. And you can see in the bracket, in the parentheses here, we say callback.capture, callback, so we said capture. And then on the next line, we get our actual instance of the callback, and we call the callback ourselves with the fake nodes. And you would do all the assertion as usual. And now it passed. Whew. Okay, so the result, what our test would look like. Oh, yeah. Nice structure. You can totally read, right? It basically lists all the method that you have on what condition and what you can expect from it. But there's a but. In JUnit, you would have your add before method that you would like run before each test. Well, in Spek we have that too. We have like before each test or after each test. But typically you would reinitialize your mock object in add before. But with Spek, the way that the Spek test was constructed, it's going to capture the reference, the first reference, and then if you reinitialize your mock object, it's not going to be the new one, it's going to be the old one. So what you would do instead is you can reset your mock. No, just be careful because I failed to do this on the first try. So in summary, unit test is essential, right? But it's kind of a bit hard to understand. So Spek help you with that. It allows you to write readable test code and the result also. And it turns out that you describe your test so well that is essentially it acts as your specification. And that is why it's called Spek with a K. I think it stands for Kotlin. And if you want to try this at home, please do. It's easy. You install Kotlin plugin and Spek plugin, visit spekframework.org. But if you do this on IntelliJ IDEA, it's easy, it's straightforward. But with Android Studio, you have to be careful because there's some incompatibility going on. But the main contributor in Spek project is working really hard to get it resolved. So, don't worry because I'll be posting the instruction in our blog, our Medium blog. You can visit blog@appsync.net. And also the Android testing code lab. If you haven't, please check it out. And there's also my blog. Actually, I do it with my friend Johnny at Agoda. So please visit us at blacklenspub.com. Oh, and I have some announcement to make. See, I'm one of the admin at Thailand Kotlin developer group in Thailand, and we're gonna host an event on Kotlin 1.1 event, BKK. It's gonna be on March the 23rd at 9 p.m. at ThinkNet near BTS Saradang. So we have, I think we have 40 tickets. So please get your ticket at Event Pop. And that's it, everyone. Thank you. So I still have some time left. You can ask a question if you have. หรือจะถามภาษาไทยก็ได้ครับ ไม่มีคำถามเนาะ so no oh there's one question
Anybody have a question? Over there.
oh okay
One there. You can shout. Or do you need a mic?
Hey Travis.
hi
Yes.
hey
Anyway, nice presentation.
Thank you.
I have a question for you. So a lot of people say that unit testing actually incurs a lot of overhead in terms of development, mainly based on the fact that a lot of time will be spent in writing up unit test cases.
Yeah.
From your experience, and what are your opinions in terms of justifying the time spent to write unit tests versus developing actual code from the get-go?
Okay, thank you for the question. So I would do I wouldn't spend too much time on unit test. I would do unit test only it's crucial to the app. I mean, if it has to be you have to have the right result. You know, so you don't do much test unless you have to. Well, in the MVP, in the MVP architecture, you can just test your presenter or whatever your business logic is.
So in summary, you're saying that only write unit tests for methods and functionality that matters the most. So that's your advice, right?
Yeah. Thank you.
Any more questions?
ตรงนี้มีไหมครับครับว่าไงครับ
แล้วอย่างนี้มันจะช่วยยังไงกับการที่เราตอนนี้ถ้าเกิดเรามีดูสเกลของเราเนี่ย
ปกติเราเนี่ยเราจะเขียนยูนิตเทสแยกแต่ละเคสต่างหากเลยใช่ไหมครับอย่างพวกเวลาเราปกติเราจะมีโปรเซสอะไรกิฟเวนแล้วก็อะไรอย่างเงี้ยสักอย่าง
ครับ
แล้วคราวนี้ถ้าเกิดสมมติว่าเราจะย้ายจากตรงนั้นมาใช้ตัวสเปคเนี่ยเราจะต้องทำยังไงเพราะปกติเราก็จะแยกเคสชัดเจนเลยว่าแต่ละเคสเทสอะไรบ้าง
ครับ
คนที่ออกเนี่ยเพราะรู้สึกว่าวิธีนี้เราว่าเขียนให้มันอยู่รวมกันเลยไหมหรือว่าเราสามารถเขียนแยกกันต่างหากได้
เขียนแยกกันได้ครับเขียนแยกกันได้ So the question is, do we have to like write all our tests together in a single class, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can isolate the test in many classes. Thank you. Any other question?
One up there. One more question from behind.
ฮัลโหลครับ ตัวสเปคนี้สามารถใช้คิวคัมเบอร์ช่วยเจเนเรตได้หรือเปล่าครับ
อันนี้ไม่ทราบเลยครับยังไม่เคยลองครับแต่เดี๋ยวถ้ามีอะไรเดี๋ยวจะไปโพสในบล็อกแอปซิงให้ครับ
จะติดตามครับ
ขอบคุณครับ So the question is can you use it with Cucumber and I actually have not done it yet so I'll be posting some in the app sync blog. Any other question?
I think one from the top, I saw a hand, right? Earlier? No? Oh yes, there. No. Anyone?
No more
No more?
question. Well, thank you.
All right. Please give a big round of applause for Mr.